Hi guys, good afternoon. This is Sean and welcome to my third video. On this video, I will talk about the updated testing quarantine protocols for Filipinos from abroad na gustong umuwi ng Pilipinas. So there are three travel classifications approved by Interagency Task Force or IATF on COVID-19 response for January 16 until 31. So ulitin ko po, yung travel classifications na to is only valid from January 16 to January 31 based on the rules na ipalabas kahapon January 14. So these rules is only valid for Filipinos kasi ang border ng Pilipinas is not yet open for foreigners with tourist visa. So these rules is only valid and intended for Filipinos na gustong umuwi ng Pilipinas or uuwi ng Pilipinas from January 16 until January 31, 2022. So yung sinabi ko nga kanina, there are three travel classifications. So meron tayong red list countries, merong green list countries, at saka merong yellow list countries. So yung red list countries, these are countries with high risk or has high COVID-19 infection. Yung green list countries naman these are countries with low risk or low cases with COVID-19. Samantalang yung yellow list are countries with moderate risk or cases with COVID-19. So, sa tatlong travel classifications na to, may mga different countries na nasa listahan. So, babasahin ko lang isa-isa kasi baka malay nyo yung countries kung saan kayo ngayon ay baka nabelong siya sa red or green or yellow list. So, based sa rules kahapon, eto yung mga countries na considered high risk. So, nasa red list sila. Antigua and Barbuda, Curaçao, Malta, Puerto Rico, Spain, Aruba, French Guiana, Mayotte, Saudi Arabia, US Virgin Islands, Canada, Iceland, Mozambique. So those are red list countries. So before the rules kahapon, yung countries na na-mention na red list they are not allowed to go to Philippines. So walang flight na inallow from countries coming from red list except doon sa mga Filipinos na uuwi through repatriation, which their flights are organized by the agency. So ngayon, sa bagong rules na to, starting January 16, pwede na silang umuwi sa Pilipinas as long as they satisfy the requirement na na-impose sa kanila based dun sa kanilang bansa na saan sila galing. Ito naman yung mga countries na nasa green list or low risk: Bangladesh, Benin, Bhutan, British Virgin Islands, China Mainland, Cote d'Ivoire, Djibouti, Equatorial Guinea, Falkland Islands, the Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Japan, Kosovo, Kyrgyzstan, Montserrat, Morocco, Niger, Oman, Pakistan, Paraguay, Sabah, I am not sure if this is Malaysia, Saint Bartholomew, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Saint Eustatius, Taiwan, Timor-Leste, and Uganda. So those are countries na nasa green list. So lahat ng mga countries na hindi na mention dun sa red list at saka sa green list ay considered yellow list or moderate risk. So meaning meron silang moderate COVID-19 cases, kaya sila nasa yellow list. Na-mention ko to kasi iba-iba yung mga protocols na requirements ng mga Pilipino na galing doon sa iba't ibang bansa. So, eto yung mga requirements. So, sa requirements, nakaseparate siya. So, iba ang requirements if you are travelers na fully vaccinated, meaning may proof of vaccination ka, at iba naman yung requirements if you are partially vaccinated, or kung ang yung vaccination status ay hindi ma-verify. Okay. So, umpisahan natin sa green list countries. So, if you are Filipino coming from green list country na uuwi ng Pilipinas from January 16 until January 31, 2022, ito yung requirements. Fully vaccinated, either fully vaccinated or partially vaccinated or unvaccinated or unverified vaccinated status. Both of you are required to present a negative PCR test taken within 48 hours before flight departure. So yun, mandatory yun kahit pa bakunado ka or unverified or partially vaccinated. Kailangan mo talagang magsagawa ng PCR test conducted within 48 hours before your flight departure. Kaso magkaiba na ang kanilang quarantine regulations. If you are fully vaccinated, hindi ka na po required na mag-show ng booking ng hotel. So, is non-mandatory facility-based quarantine. So, hindi mo na kailangan mag-book ng hotel pag bakunado ka, fully vaccinated. Samantala naman, pag partially lang yung bakuna mo or unvaccinated or unverified vaccinated status mo, you need to do a mandatory facility-based quarantine until 5 days, and up to 5 days you have to do another PCR test. Okay? So, yun, ulitin ko ha. Both PCR test, kahit pa bakunado ka or hindi ka bakunado, pero pag bakunado ka, hindi ka na required to book your hotel. Samantalang pag hindi ma-verify yung vaccination status mo, you need to book a hotel up to 5 days and you need to do a PCR test on the 5th day. Okay. So, pag bakunado ka, since hindi ka na nga magbubook ng hotel, so diretso na ang uwi nyo sa inyo, but then, you are required to do self-monitoring for any signs and symptoms up to the 7th day of arrival. Yun. So, pag bakunado ka, vaccinated ka, pagdating mo ng Pilipinas, nakarating ka na ng Pilipinas, you can go home directly to your house, but then you need to do self-monitoring up to the 7th day of your stay, up from the date of arrival. Samantalang pag ikaw naman ay unvaccinated or unverified yung vaccination status mo, kailangan mo mag-book ng hotel up to 5 days, and you need to do the PCR test on the 5th day, and if your PCR test is negative, pwede ka nang umuwi sa inyo, at mag-isolate ka, mag-home isolate ka for 14th day for non-vaccinated traveler. Okay? Samantalang 7th day lang pag vaccinated ka. Okay? I hope it's clear. Okay? Now, we will go to the yellow list. Pag galing ka naman ng countries na nasa yellow list, pag vaccinated ka, both vaccinated and unvaccinated, you need to present your PCR test, which is also taken 48 hours before your flight. So, Belgium, for the moment, is considered as yellow list. Last week, nung chinek ko yung rules was 72 hours before flight of departure. So, nag-book ako for my flight on Thursday, kasi valid pa siya for 72 hours. Eh, nung rules kahapon, 48 hours na lang. So, yung appointment ko is at 9:45, ay yung flight ko is 9:55. So, hindi na siya pasok doon sa 48 hours. So, nireschedule ko siya kanina, nirebook ko siya into 10:30 in the morning para pasok siya doon sa 48 hours before flight departure. Okay? Second is, pag bakunado ka at galing ka ng yellow list countries, you also need to do a mandatory facility-based quarantine for 5 days and do swab test on the 5th day. Pero pag hindi ka bakunado, you need also to do the same, pero 7th day, 7 days. So, pag bakunado ka, 5 days lang yung stay mo sa hotel. Samantalang pag hindi ka bakunado, you need to stay in the hotel for 7 days and do your swab test. Okay? If negative yung result nyo, you need to do home quarantine and self-monitor up to 7th day pag bakunado ka, Samantalang pag hindi ka bakunado at negative yung result mo ng swab test mo on the 5th day, you need to do home quarantine up to 14 day of arrival. Okay? So, clear yun, I hope. Samantalang, so, uulitin ko lang. So, ako ay galing ng Belgium, galing ng yellow list countries. Bakunado ako, dumating ako ng Manila. I need to show that I have hotel bookings for at least 5 days. So, on the 5th day, magpe-present ako na magkakonduct na naman ako ng PCR test. And then, pag okay na, lumabas na yung PCR test ko, pwede na ako umuwi sa amin. But then, I need to continue self-monitoring sa bahay hanggang 7th day. Okay? Yun. Ako ay dumating ng Pilipinas, pero hindi ako bakunado at ako ay galing ng yellow list countries. Same pa rin. But then, you need to show a booking for your hotel up to 7 days. And then, you need to do a PCR test on the 5th day. At then, pag negative yung PCR test result mo on the 5th day, pwede ka na umuwi sa inyong bahay, pero continue yung home quarantine mo until 14th day. Self-monitoring until 14th day. So, yun yung difference pag bakunado ka or non-vaccinated. So, itong rules naman to ay for Filipinos naghaling sa red list. Kung galing ka ng red list, so, na-mention ko nga kanina, last week was, ang rule is, Filipinos from red list are not allowed to enter Philippines except for those Filipinos na repatriated and their flights are organized by their agency. Pero, sa bagong rules na lumabas kahapon, they are now allowed na umuwi ng Pilipinas as long as pasok sila dun sa rules and regulations na susundin nila yung rules and regulations for red list countries. So these are the rules for Filipinos coming from red list. So pag bakunado sila, nagaling sila sa red list countries, still bakunado or non-bakunado, they have to present their proof of negative PCR test taken within from 48 hours from the flight departure. And then, they are required to do a mandatory facility-based quarantine for 7 days pag bakunado. Samantalang pag hindi bakunado, na galing ng red list is 10 days. And then, doon sa 7 days na yon, pag bakunado ka, pwede ka nang umuwi ng iyong bahay pag okay na yung result mo for your stay for 7 days at mag-home quarantine ka until 14th day. Samantalang pag hindi ka bakunado, you need to stay in the hotel 10 days and then yung swab test mo dapat i-conduct siya ng 7th day. Kahit pa negative yung result ng swab test mo, required ka talagang magstay ng hotel until 10 days. So, only after 10 days, you are allowed to go out and go home. Pag okay yung negative test mo, pag okay na yung PCR test mo at negative, and then you have to do a home quarantine for up to 14 days. So, yun. So, I really suggest, kasi guys, the rules and regulations for travel restrictions are very, very changing, no? Rapidly, no? Masyadong mabilis, paiba-iba, kaya stressful talagang magbiyahe ngayon sa Pilipinas. So, I suggest na you keep on reading, do research, para inform kayo, at saka para less stress din, kasi stressful talagang umuwi ngayon sa atin. But then, I will just try to do my best. I will keep on posting videos, updates, para maibahagi to sa ibang mga travelers na gustong umuwi ng Pilipinas. So, ipopost ko later on yung mga experience ko hanggang sa makarating ako ng Pilipinas para aware din yung ibang Pilipino na gustong umuwi sa atin. So, this is all for today and I hope guys na na-inform kayo in this video and I will also post a link kung saan nyo mababasa yung complete rules and regulations. So you can just click that link, and if you did not subscribe yet to this channel, so I really hope and suggest na mag-subscribe kayo and keep supporting my channel. So thank you for watching, guys, and see you later or see you in my next videos. So good weekend!